I explained that there are rounds which are known as SSG, or 12-gauge rounds with pellets. So that's what was used there, which was not supposed to be used, but that's not live ammunition. As I say, it's mainly pellets. It's the round and with pellets. The ranks, the general would be able to touch on that. But what I can say is that the members themselves have been in this environment of public order policing. So they are not the people who came yesterday in this area. The issue of the mines, we are concerned about what is happening in the Platinum Belt because of history, of course, of what had happened in the past. And as such, we have raised that. Right now, I'm from there. I was going around those mines before coming to this press conference. We have seen some people carrying weapons, and again, it's a problem. Now, in terms of the Gatherings Act, the organizers have an obligation to ensure that nothing goes wrong. People do what they do, they protest, they strike within the bounds of the law. They must not carry weapons, as we have said here. Now, I took liberty to interact with the organizers yesterday, specifically the president of AMCU, formally pointing to them that they are organizers. And the onus is on them to ensure that people do not break the law. Because before the actual strike, as prescribed in the Gatherings Act, there has to be these talks between the organizers and the police, and those happened. So we are emphasizing even now that we have noticed what has happened, and accordingly, police have recorded what is going on there for the past 2 days. And if anyone is identified as having broken the law by carrying a weapon, is going to be facing the might of the law. So for us, it was more of a warning yesterday to the organizers that they must not abandon their responsibilities or abdicate their responsibilities. Well, the policy is there. It's finalized. There's always been a policy. What I did in 2011, around August, was to ensure that we strengthen that part as part of what the police are in South Africa today, that believing in the philosophy of community policing. So we're emphasizing all the points which have been raised here, starting from the equipment to ensure that the kind of equipment which is there is the equipment which is supposed to be governing properly the public protests and public gatherings without actually having anybody to be hurt or to be killed in the process. And that philosophy is the philosophy which we pursue. So there is nothing like militarized police. There may be military ranks used, but in terms of the philosophy, in terms of the prescripts, the law, everything which governs the police, they remain within that kind of space. You can call your police service or police force whatever you want to call it. What is important is that the fundamentals, the foundation, and the posture of the police, what is it that from recruitment you take your members through? If you like, you can change the ranks and call them holy or what have you. But if your own standing in terms of your doctrine in the police is military, ranks would not say anything. So what is important here is that the NDP emphasizes the point of non-militarized police, and would follow that path of ensuring that police are not militarized. The last point, and others with the ranks, the generals would be able to respond to those.
Thank you, Minister. On the issue of ranks, we had 6 constables, there were 6 warrant officers, and 2 lieutenants. And let me say, all of them very well experienced, well practiced, and long in the service of subs. There was another question that was asked around the march that is going to take place, that has been reported in the media, around whether we're starting to prepare or whether there's an element of concern. Let me say, on our part as the police, when you look at the relevant section that defines our remit as police, one of the key areas is public order maintenance. So it doesn't matter where what is happening. If there is a need for maintenance of public order, we as the police shall intervene. We also, in terms of our remit, are requested to enforce the law. So where that is needed, we shall be available for law enforcement. And as we also do that and roll out our work in terms of public order policing, we do a lot of threat and risk assessment. So when that situation arises, we will look at our remit, we'll also do the necessary threat assessment, and then we will take a decision on how to intervene.
There's 2 questions.
Is there still another one? Which one is it?
We said if 14 of the police are taken. Perhaps one question is the alleged rot in the public order policing. We've given statistics of what public order policing is dealing with in South Africa. That even the 1,882 which are violent can't be normal. You can't have a normal situation where you have 1,000 plus activities which are said to be violent. And that brings about a bigger picture that we've got to, at some point as a nation, to talk about the violent nature of our society. That if we want to continue, we can continue blaming one section of the society with the violence which is out there in the public. But I think that we should be looking into the broader issue. That why would, for instance, if you have a democratic country like ours, a constitutional democracy, which allow people to express themselves, to demonstrate and do all the things guaranteed not only by the law, by the Constitution as well, why would people just disregard the law, not follow the law, not apply too much, not do the things they're supposed to do? And why would people carry weapons? And I'm saying that we should look at this matter broadly. And I don't think that if you have found 14 of the members who are in the wrong within the law, because I must say that these members, not all of them are in for one thing, of shooting and so on. So I think that if there are people who have not done what they were supposed to do, we've got to deal with those people. And this is what we are saying here, and this is what is being done. And I don't know whether you recorded the last question about the 14 members.
Okay, let me just deal with another one quickly, Minister, on the mines. Somebody mentioned the issue around the mines and the concerns around there. I just want to also indicate that some of you may be aware that we launched the Mindcrime combating forums. We've started rolling out those in Northwest, for instance, where the strikes are taking place right now. We have that Mindcrime combating forum, and it brings to around the table all the stakeholders that are involved in mining. And I must say, even in preparation towards the strike and now, that forum is highly resourceful, and we're hoping that it shall assist us really in mitigating some of the challenges that we may be seeing in that area. You also asked an issue around discipline, and I'm going to ask both General Stolle and General Mawela to talk to the issue of discipline. I may also say to you, we're having a big conference of our entire public order policing towards the end of this month as we prepare for the elections, because discipline is very crucial and primary, because some of these prescripts requires not just, a bookish way of implementing them, but also drawing from those personal attributes around issues of discipline, and we prioritize that a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, General, and thank you, Minister. I am Lieutenant General Sitole, the Deputy National Commissioner for Policing. I think with regard to discipline, first, I would like to say that command and control is part and parcel of the basic policing principles, and is also embodied in our standing orders. It is enforced on a daily basis. And number two, the very same basic policing principle where command is key, command and control, is also linked to our disciplinary regulations. In case there's violations, transgressions, or omissions relating to command and control, the internal discipline kicks in immediately. Part and parcel of these principles, they include parades. Our members are paraded before deployment. And what happens in those particular parades is inspections. Our inspection starts with operational readiness. If any of our members are not operationally ready, they're withdrawn from the deployment. And if there's any conduct or behavior which might compromise the operation, we also deal with it on the spot. This includes the inspection of all equipments, firearms, vehicles. Yes, in any organization, there will be a discipline problem, but in the South African Police Service, discipline is well managed and transgressions are dealt with immediately. Thank you.
Know more about your world. eNCA.com.